Let's face it, we're living through the collapse of the old system. If you're like me and don't want to rely on others for your basic needs, having an emergency food supply is a must-have. Go to preparewithinspired.com and save $200 on your 3-month emergency food supply. It's the most popular food kit out there. Your future self will thank you for it. Go to preparewithinspired.com and order today. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being with us again. It's beautiful to see you all. Always is always wonderful. We're healthy. We're wealthy. We're whole. We're free. Very healthy. Very wealthy, very whole and free. This is the mantra of the Inspired live stream. This is what we're not just affirming, but this is what we're speaking into existence. This is what we do here at Inspired. We speak and act, affirm, move things into existence. And so in today's live stream, and I want to welcome everybody here in the live chat. Cannalee's here, Matthew, Alchemy Spectrum, Leviathan, Dragons, Guardians of the Crystal Hearts, Caroline, welcome, Jason, Up If Divinity, Dragonflower Gardens. We got some dragonflowers in the house. Kim, Ellen, wonderful to see you. Yeah, let us know in the live chat where you're tuning in from. And Stuart is here. Good to see you, my friend. Let us know in the comments later if you join that later. First off, let me show you this because people have already been saying, what is this T-shirt? Okay, we posted it today, a couple days ago. It's the Spiritual Outlaw T-shirt, and I'll explain what it means. So people said, wait a minute, wasn't Satan the spiritual outlaw? Are you saying, no. Okay, so here's how it is. On Earth today, the way I see it, and this ties perfectly into the subject of this live stream. When you are truly spiritual, when you really are in sync and in tune with God and God's laws, the laws that God created for man and all of the universe, then in today's world, you have to be an outlaw. Because you can, in today's world, you can either obey God's laws or you can obey man's laws. But they're so out of sync that you can't do both at the same time. Not to a meaningful extent. That's why we said, hey, we're spiritual. We're outlaws. We're spiritual outlaws. This is the meaning of this T-shirt. It's a fantastic conversation starter, by the way. So if you want to get yours, links in the description. But let me move into today's subject. You saw that thumbnail. I said it's more important than any election, and it could happen today. What am I talking about? Well, friends, if you are here in the Inspired live stream, if you are part of this beautiful family and tribe, then chances are you are living within through the greatest transformation of your life, and you're also sort of kind of affirming, co-creating, manifesting, if you will, speaking and acting into existence, the great awakening, the great transformational change in the world. And oftentimes, because we're focused on the details, on the truths, on the exposing, on all of that, sometimes we lose focus of what is really important. And I want to bring this subject up because it empowers people when they remember this basic, most fundamental and important truth. That's why this subject is so important and more important than any elections. So if you listen to the pundits out there today, if you listen to the talking heads, left, right, center, no political affiliation, and most of them focus on external ideas and focus on external sources of power. So basically, they will explain to you who runs the world, who these groups and these people are. And to a certain extent, that has a meaningful place in our discussion. We do it too. But when you ask people who runs the world, they will say, well, it's the wealthy, it's the powerful, it's the cabal, it's the dark forces, or it's the World Economic Forum, or it's the Trilateral Commission, Club of Rome, Club of 300, whatever. Many, many names. What runs the world? Well, people say money runs the world, right? Power runs the world. Greed runs the world. This in and of itself is not false, but it isn't the beginning of what created what we're seeing in the world today. And once we understand really what runs the world, what really runs the world or used to run the world, we can also understand that it could actually happen, that change could happen today. And here's one more thing I'm going to do right now. I'm going to point at you and tell you, you could be the one that flips over that meaningful domino. Okay, so this is from the get-go. So what really runs the world? Currently, we're on a trajectory as a society is looking at the average of societies in the world today. We are on the technocratic path. It is a path that has the technological development evolution and now the digital AI at the center of our social, economical, financial structures. The journey that humanity has been on for the past hundreds of years was absolutely technocratically driven, away from the natural into the artificial. And the mantra of the progress out there is more of this will bring better life, will bring more life quality, will bring a better standard. That is the fundamental program, the program that runs our world. And here we need to understand something. Money doesn't run the world. Power doesn't run the world. It's a program that runs the world. Where is that program located? It is located in our heads, in our minds, in our brains, where it has been instilled from birth, from the first things. Most of us were born in an artificial structure. We weren't born in the bosom of Mother Nature. We were born in a sterile, artificial environment with wires in the walls and all kinds of electronic devices around us, with doctors and nurses, and surrounded by sick and injured people. Just think of the picture. That's the artificial world we were brought into. And stick with me here. Once this clicks, you will see how powerful we really are. So we were born into this artificial structure, and then from there it goes. We're put in strollers. We're given artificial toys. We're put in artificial materials, the diapers and the clothing, and we spend most of our time in artificial structures like houses. And then we go on, and the use of technology, the use of everything that's artificial is being presented to the newborn, to the baby, to the toddler. That's the world. That's the reality, right? Okay, so naturally, that's the reality that we build up in our heads, and that's what we think life and the world and reality is. So we look for more of that, and whenever there's a development in that artificial world, we celebrate it because it's a path towards better. That's the intrinsic program that we have in our heads. In addition to presenting this program to us from early on, we're also presented with the negative effects of the old program, which was nature, which was living with nature. All we hear about in school is how tough our ancestors had it, how rough it was for them to gather food, to hunt, to be primitive, to have primitive tools, to not really be educated on anything, don't understand anything. That's the path that we're being shown. And so we naturally conclude, hold on, they had it bad. They were living like Neanderthals. They had to hunt, and it was tough on them and whatnot. And now we have it so much better in this artificial world. Okay. So the technocratic program is what runs the world. It is saved to our hard drives. It's the software that's saved to our hard drives that runs the world. The more people, and this is what is really the Great Awakening, right? The more people that wake up and understand this, the more people begin questioning this program, the more people shift over to, hold on, what else is there? Why have we lost touch with nature? Who created nature? Didn't God create this perfect environment? So what happens is more and more and more people, in the millions, hundreds of millions, maybe now a billion, I don't know, are shifting over and questioning not whether the Republican or the Democrat Party is the right choice, because both the Democrat and the Republican Party inherently are on the same technocratic path. In your country, by the way, it doesn't matter where you live, there's more parties for sure. Like most European countries have more parties, and they have different names and little different shades of gray, but they are all on the same path. They view progress as this one thing, and that is technocracy. They view it from different angles, but that's what they see. They don't talk about the natural path. They don't talk about God's path. They don't talk about your connection with nature, with the natural path, with God's path. Nobody talks about this. But that is the organic, spiritual, human timeline. And all parties are on the same page. It's just how we go about it, but we're going in that same direction. That's what all the political parties are really about. There are good people within those parties that think differently. There are good movements within those parties that think differently, but that's the program. And unless people become aware of the program, the flavor and the color of the program really doesn't matter, because unless they become aware, they will never question the basic fundamental program. This is what you are doing every day. You wouldn't be here. This is what we're doing every day. We're questioning the direction that the human family is on. And it isn't, is this technology better than that? Or should we take more of this or that? It is, are we actually moving in the right direction? I would venture to say absolutely not. Every year you have more sickness, more death, more suicides, more addictions, more violence, more of everything that is harmful and negative. If we were on the right track, this wouldn't be the case. But the program suggests more of this will bring a better outcome. It's like you haven't been beaten enough. You need just a little more beating, and then you will be better. And this is the problem is most people don't understand that it's a program in their heads that is driving this whole thing. If they did understand it, they would question it like you do, and so many out there now are doing. So how do you interrupt the program? By first becoming aware of it. First, you need to become aware of what runs you. It's a belief system. It's a program. When you become aware, you begin questioning it. Are these my thoughts? Do I really believe that? Do I really think that's the best? And so many of you have answered all of those questions with no. So then you go, okay, what could be better? What could be a better path? What direction could we move into? Most of us turn to who created all of this beauty that's out there, the most beautiful flowers, the ocean, the creeks, the rivers, the streams, the sky, the clouds, the real clouds, by the way, the animals, all of the beauty that's out there, beautiful blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes, all that. Who created all of that? Well, eventually you land at one conclusion. If you think this was created by intelligent design, but you think this wasn't, you're mad. You're crazy. You're insane, right? That's what these technocrats believe. They believe this was created by intelligent design, but this wasn't. This is just a fluke chance. This is just evolution over billions of years coming from amoebas and little cells that were randomly thrown together because of comets. Bullshit. So most of you are on this path, are realizing the spiritual connection. Once you reestablish the spiritual connection, which mainly happens by people reconnecting with nature, God created every blade of grass. Technically, even the Monsanto blade of grass, but God created every blade of grass. So when you really have a connection with nature, you reestablish the connection with God. And then your thinking begins to change. Your priorities begin to change. Your direction begins to change. Now, this used to be a few 100,000 people on Earth, maybe a few million, and it wasn't significant enough to shift the general program. What is happening now is the numbers are becoming so significant that the technocratic artificial program is being consistently interrupted, and they're being consistently disturbed in their plans, and they are consistently being thrown off path because more and more people are choosing a fundamentally different outlook, a new vision for the future, a different way. And we are, if we haven't yet, we could have already passed that critical mass tipping point threshold. I don't know. But if we haven't, we're very close. That's what the domino in this thumbnail image signifies, really is. Once a crucial number of people is on a natural, on an organic, spiritual human path, the domino falls, and that creates the domino effect that destroys the artificial technocratic program that's out there. Now, the beautiful thing is the initiators of this death cult program have already been eliminated by our combined efforts. I know this to be true. What we're seeing is just the program running itself. Much like when somebody writes the code for a software and puts the program out into the world, that person who developed that software doesn't have to consistently be there to run the software. They created it. Now the people are using it. The creator is gone. The program is still in the minds of the people. It's still in the minds of the technocrats. It's still in the minds of the Ray Kurzweils and all the other insane maniacs who are perpetuating this technical artificial path. The new writers, if you will, we're the coders of the new software, and the new software is really just reconnecting with nature. But we're the authors of a different outlook, and we are here, and we're every day putting this into the field. Our combined thoughts, intentions, actions, we're putting this into the field. And any day now, if it hasn't happened yet, this domino will fall. It's more important than in any election could ever be, because it changes the fundamental direction that the human family goes in. And it does not require the majority of the people. It requires a critical mass. According to who you ask, this could be 1%, less than 1%, around 10%. Well, what does it matter? We're going to do our best. We're going to go way beyond the 10%. And then we will be potentially able to generally shift the path. I believe the path has already been shifted little by little by little by little. Will everybody tag along? No. But they will not be significant anymore, because the echo chamber that, or let me put it this way, the echo that a conscious creator, when you consciously envision a future, when you put your intentions into it, when you put your mind to it, your heart, your spirit into it, that's more powerful than a million followers who don't do that. They just follow a program. That's a million times more powerful. So just imagine what is happening now. And why you could be the deciding factor. You could be the one person that, if you change your thinking, if you really shift the path, if you really shift your priorities, if you reconnect with nature and God, you could be the one piece on that scale that tips it and change everything. This is where the power comes back to the people. This is what we need to understand. It isn't that person out there. That's why I keep saying it's not the white hats out there. I know they exist. I know they're great people. I know some people are doing amazing things, but they cannot change our thinking for us. They cannot change our feelings for us. They cannot change our vision for us. Only you can do that for you. But if you do that for you, you think, oh, what have I done? I've just changed something for myself. But I'm telling you, you could be the deciding factor. You deciding that you're not going to be less than you were meant to be, that you're not going to settle for less than you were meant to be, that you're not going to sacrifice any more of your values and principles, not a single day longer. You make a different choice. You work with and for God. You work with and for the Creator. You work with and for the organic, spiritual, human timeline. You could be the one that pushes that domino over. This is how powerful this story really is once we get to the bottom of it. And then all these structures outside of us are just being used for that. Like an election is just being used for that. It's not that the election in and of itself, or whoever the leader or leaders are, can fundamentally change what's within us. Only we can do that. As a matter of fact, these leaders will be the reflection of the changes that we make inside of us, will be the reflection of the new choices that we make, will be the reflection of the new thoughts that we think and the new actions that we take. And that's the bottom line here. That is really the true power of we the people, if you want to get down to it. And I want to give you, this is what I bring up so often. I love this. Christine and I show this so often. This is God or Creator or whatever you want to call this. God does not, Jesus called God Allah, right? In his Aramaic native tongue, it was Allah, just so you know. God created man. Man created systems, government, right? Man created systems, government. It comes from us. It isn't above us. It comes through us. We are the ones. And so we have this amazing opportunity to realize this, that one person who becomes a conscious creator in their lives, that means taking full responsibility for your life, for your thoughts, for your actions. And that means not being the victim anymore, not pointing fingers anymore and saying they're responsible for my life. No, one conscious creator is more powerful than a million followers who never think about these things. And this is where we're at. Now we see an exponential growth, and we have seen over the last months, especially since the beginning of 2023, in numbers we couldn't believe before. And how do we see that exponential growth? I'll tell you what happened. The wording, the general ideas that people are approaching us with in their emails, messages, and when we see others who talk about it publicly, are more and more in sync, more and more aligned. People are there, we're peeling the onion, the bullshit falls away, the essence of this truth remains. And now people finally understand it's always been that person in the mirror. The Michael Jackson song, you remember The Man in the Mirror, beautiful song, right? Beautiful message. This is what it's always been about. And here we are. This is more important than any election. And this could literally happen today. The domino could fall today, and you could be the one that pushes it over. I believe, and this is speculation, intuition, right? Up until this point, everything I said, I was pointing to facts that I experienced in my life and that I can really verify. This is intuition. I do believe that this crucial domino has already been tipped over. That's why we see the chaos. That's why we see this unraveling of everything. It doesn't look like most people expected it to look. But this is what change looked like. It's not always pretty. It's not instantaneously. It's a process. It's a journey. It's often chaotic. It takes a while until it takes the new form of order, right? So I believe we're already in it. But it doesn't mean we should stop. I see the contagion factor now. I see people walking out into the world that have been in a dark place for a very long time. And these are the most powerful examples, by the way. So let's take any person who's had some tough experiences in life, challenges, traumas, you name it, and was going through dark years, even dark decades. Now, it could be one of you. Now, and that's why I'll say you. Now you have, because of your intentions, because you wouldn't accept that any longer, you've created a shift inside of you. Over time, you created new practices, new thoughts, new rituals, new habits, healing. You connected with God. You have an authentic relationship. Now, all of a sudden, this beautiful light inside of you is reignited, right? The light that you were born with, it's now reignited. It's shining brighter and brighter and brighter. You go out into the world, and the people that have known you for years and decades, they just go, "Oh my God, what has happened? What has happened to you? You look great. You're full of energy. You have this positive spirit. You have this life force." Maybe they don't use these words, but that's what they're saying. Now you have really inspired them. Now they go home and they're going to think about you, and they're going to wonder, what is it? What is it that changed you so much? And if they can do it, I know the shit they've been through. Maybe I can do it too. If that person could get their life together and actually experience some well-being, I could do it too. I've had a tough life too, but so did they. I can change too. Now, this is the contagion factor that this reigniting of the light inside of you really has. This is what all the beautiful spiritual teachers taught. This is what Jesus Christ taught, Yeshua taught, Yahweh taught. You name the name. The name, again, it's just a name. The energy matters. And this is what all the other enlightened masters that came after and are among us today teach. This is it. You are the contagion factor. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Let that really sink in. I'm excited. Not every single day, every moment of every day, but most of the time I'm really, really excited. Because for the first time in a very long time, a lot of people realize this. And they're not accepting anything less than that. They don't want to be 70% responsible for their lives. They don't want to be 80%. They want to go 100%. They want to go all the way. And not just for themselves. I know you're not just doing this for you. So many of you are doing it for your children, your grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and the generations to come. You feel a bigger picture. You feel a bigger calling, a greater sense of purpose. We all feel it. We don't know exactly how it will play out. We just know we're here for it. We're showing up for it every day, and we'll continue to show up for it every day. There will be tough days, my friends. Today might be one for you, or tomorrow, doesn't matter, but we're here. We're going to continually show up together. We're going to do this together in all our interactions, in all our conversations. We are going to be the light of God. He gave us, or God gave us. That's what we're going to be. This is what creates the shift, what tips over to domino. My friends, thank you. I also wanted to thank you, everybody that hopped over yesterday. I think it was yesterday, hopped over to our Inspired website, theinspiredchannel.com, our new website, where a lot of the conversations will go because they will be completely uncensored. That's where we created a new platform, server space, and our servers crashed because of the surge in traffic. And I just wanted to thank you for that. It isn't good that they crashed, but now we're expanding. We're getting more server space. We're making it better. We'll continue to improve it. But we wanted to thank you for joining us there. It's absolutely free to watch, but it doesn't have any guidelines and restrictions in place. It's just theinspiredchannel.com, and that's where free and uncensored conversations will happen. They will be on there, and you can enjoy them. You won't even have to sign up for an account or something like that. That's the best we could do for now, to create or maintain digital freedom. As I said before, this is not the end of the story. I foresee a future not too far from now, in your lifetime and my lifetime, where we will spend far less time with these devices and screens, probably go down to 10% of what it's now, because it won't be necessary anymore. Because the main battle will have been won on all levels. That's what I foresee. We're going to be out in nature. We're going to meet there. We're going to sing songs around the bonfire. We're going to get together. We're going to hug. We're going to eat. We're going to drink wonderful natural foods and beverages. And we're going to tell stories. And we're going to co-create this beautiful culture that we once all belonged to. All right. Love you all, my friends. Appreciate you all so much. We truly do. Have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day. And hop over to theinspiredchannel.com. Check it out. Get familiar with it and put a bookmark. Right? The bookmark is where you find it easily every morning if you feel inspired to. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.